Hey guys, what's going on? Sergeant Masters back at you with yet another dandy for my collection. This time I bring you something that's known by a few names, AK, AK-47, Kalashnikov, but it's all the same thing, even though it's made by a few different countries. And here's what mine looks like, actually. Let's turn it over here. This is an AK-47, but it's not sold under the name AK-47. This is made by Norinco. It's a Chinese-made AK-47, and they market them or marketed them. I don't know if they still sell them here or not under the name of MAK 90 Sporter. Now, what that means is that I believe during the Clinton administration, they were wanting to ban everything that was fun, including assault rifles. And one of the things that I guess how Norinco got around that was to do what you would call sporterizing these rifles, as in taking off the mean looking, ugly military type accessories like a regular broom stock that you'd see on a typical AK. And they also took off, if you'll notice here. Sorry about the camera, guys. I'm still looking for a good one. If you'll notice here, no muzzle brake, huh? And also, if you'll notice right here, there's no bayonet lug. So, uh, including that, this came with a what you call a thumb hole stock. Now, what I mean by that, the wooden stock, and the pistol grip were all made basically in one whole piece, and you had a hole right about here. Stuck your hand through the hole, and like I said, the butt stock and the pistol grip were one piece, and that's how you would shoulder the weapon when you want to fire it. You know, crappy, yeah. Thumb hole stock, it's just a pain in the rear end. I couldn't seem to really, get a good grip with it. It just felt awkward to me. So later on, it was about a year ago, I can't remember exactly. I took that ugly, nasty thing off and I replaced it with a Romanian folding stock. And then I bought a Tapco set that included pistol grip, four ends, top and bottom, and a M4 style uh, buttstock. I didn't really care for the M4 style buttstock. It didn't seem to have a whole lot of stability. Not that this wire folding stock is any more comfortable and any more better. It just looks kind of cool. Plus, it helps with compactness when you want to go through tight areas. You just fold it in. But anyways, I took the M4 style buttstock off. I didn't like it that much. I may put it back on one day, or better yet, put on a traditional style broom stock. Give it that classic AK look. A few things about this AK, other than what I've already told you. Um, it's really just similar to any AK. I remember a while back that I had a Wasser 10. That's a Romanian AK. Other than the differences, like, the barrels are a little different. This one has little ridges and grooves on the barrel. Um, the Wasser barrel seemed, well, it was a little different. I mean, it still shot a 7.62 by 39, which is what this one shoots. Um, there's slight differences in the barrel. You can't put a muzzle brake on here unless you drive out these pins on the front sight post, slide what they call AK-74 style muzzle brake, drive your pins back in, and there you have it. This one doesn't have a spot for putting a rail on, basically that little shelf that comes over your uh, top receiver cover here and lets you can put a dot sight on or an EOTech. But you can always buy other four ends that have rails on the top where you can just slap on a dot sight and pretty much accomplish the same thing. But other than that, guys, I mean they're basically the same. They're basically the same as far as when you get right down to the nitty gritty. Although, in my opinion, as compared to the Wasser, the MAK 90 is built sturdier. It's heavier than a Wasser. You can feel that when you pick each one up and test it. This one is by far a little bit heavier. Not a whole lot, but enough to make a difference. Um, Other than that, guys, the receivers on these are a little strange. You can see these, instead of a straight cut receiver, these receivers are slanted. Now, I mean, I don't know what difference that makes really. as in maybe you're limited on what kind of hardware you can put on it. I really don't know. All I've had on it was the stock that came with it out of the box, that M4 style stock, which fit fine, and this Romanian wire stock, which was kind of a challenge to put on. Now, I don't know if you can see it on the Romanian wire folding stock, basically unit. It's a big block of metal, and within this block, you have your mechanisms that allow you to fold the stock in. You have your lever you press to fold it in, and you straighten it out, and it has some other mechanisms in there. And I know this because there's a little pin in here that holds all that in place. It fell out one day, and my mechanism fell apart, and I had to redo everything, put it together, solder a new pin in there, and put it back in. Now the thing with this was this did not slide neatly into the rear of the receiver. I had to take my Dremel and machine down each side of this basically this metal block, this housing right here on this folding stock, until I brought it down just enough to give it a snug fit and slide into the receiver. Put my set screw in right here. And the thing with the set screw is I believe this is it looks like a Allen type head at the hardware store, and I had to kind of experiment with the length also with my Dremel to set it into the rear trunnion and lock it in. And as it was right out of the package, it was too long. You couldn't fold it. It was blocking the mechanism, actually the back and forth action of this wire stock. You couldn't just open and close it without hitting the end of the screw. So I had to kind of file that down also a bit. But other than that, guys, it's still pretty much at heart an AK. Although there's a couple that, like I said, there's a couple different countries that make them. There's not a whole lot of difference in them. There are slight variations here and there, like I said with my receiver, and like the Romanian one. The Romanian one, um, it was lighter and it wasn't bad. They're not bad for the money. I liked mine, but for, like I was saying, a couple $100 more, you can probably pick you up one of these. I don't know how much these go for at gun shows or gun dealers now. The last time I was at a gun show, these were going for every bit of $600. And when I bought my Wasser, it went for about 300 maybe. It was a few years ago when I had it, and then I sold it, but I picked it up at a local gun store for about 300 or so. And as far as any differences, there really weren't any, except the Wasser was lighter. The MAK 90 seemed to be a little bit more accurate though. Now, with AKs, as we all know, we're not one of the top selling features is not accuracy. So, but this one, for what it was worth, just seemed to be a bit more accurate than my Wasser for whatever reason. But anyway, they function both the same. Although I did have a stovepipe with my MAK 90 one time, and I believe more or less it was the round and not the rifle, because wasn't much of a kick with that round. I think it just had barely enough powder to kick that round out of the barrel here, and it stovepiped the action. So all you do with an AK is just rack it, it shoves a new round in the chamber, and you're ready to go. Didn't have any more problems that day with it. Let's see, what else can I tell you guys? Like I said, this one is pretty much I've added to it here and there. Really, there's not much anything I can tell you other than I know for a fact I put a Romanian, what you'd call, I guess, spring, your buffer spring in here. I had the one that came with the MAK 90. I lost, there was an end piece or a nut on the end. I was taking it apart one day, I dropped it and I lost it. So I went to a gun show. The guy had a table set up full of nothing but AK and SKS parts. And I believe I bought, it was either a Yugo or a Wasser. And I bought a new buffer spring, put it up in there, slapped the cover on, fired it later on that day, or later on that week actually, and no problems. So you could pretty much interchange parts. There are minor differences here and there. I'm not sure of them, to be exact, but I know some countries are a little different in the way they make their AKs. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. But other than that, guys, the good thing about AKs, as we all know, they work just as good dirty as they do clean. They're not picky with ammo. They'll eat any type of ammo, Now, I noticed the Russian rounds, the Wolf rounds, uh, are pretty dirty. After I get done shooting my AK, several hundred rounds through it, usually, I always clean it, and it takes me a while just because that, for some reason, that ammo is so dirty. But here it is, guys. I'll show it to you one last time before I go. And one more thing I would kind of let you know on this, and it's probably the same with every AK. Uh, with these Tabco 4 ends, you can see right here there's a little tab. You remove this tab, there's rails on the bottom where you can put a foregrip. Now that's cool and fine if you only stick to the 30 round magazines or a drum. And what I mean by that is, when you have an AK, if everybody has one, when you put a new magazine in, you got to get that tilt. How many degrees is, I'm not sure for this, but you got to get that certain degree of tilt to lock that magazine in to the magazine well. Now, if you put the foregrip on, on the bottom of your foregrips right here, you're probably going to have trouble if you use anything over a 30 round magazine. I had one that came with the Tapco set. I put it on, then when I put in I think it was a 40 or 50 rounder magazine that I had, I couldn't get that tilt, that angle I needed to snap that magazine into the well. So I ended up taking it off, put the cover back on. If you're just going to stick to 30 rounders or drums, you'll be okay. Go ahead and put it on. And I do believe they still make some pistol grips that can go on here, foregrips that fold. I have one. You push a little button on the side and it folds down. When you need it, you snap it in place. It's good to go. But other than that, guys, let me know what you think, if you like it, or if there's anything else I can let you know about this or show you about it. I will, and I'm going to make a part 2 to my 45 critique. I took it to the range last week ago. I have one or two complaints about it, not much. It's still a pretty good weapon, and I'll try to put that on as soon as I can. Catch you later, guys. See ya.